Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you a video about a unit that capital exclamation mark might be underutilized. The Venomthropes are a unit that we took in the beginning of the edition for our Zoanthropes when that was our only tank busting option, and also for our Unending Swarm for our little Gribblies to have a little bit of coverage. But the thing about Venomthropes that I've kind of had to really think about on a look back is that it benefits infantry in general, right? It doesn't just say Zoanthropes, it doesn't just say Endless Multitude units. It benefits the most towards our infantry. Well, I guess not monsters would be more accurate because Ripper swarms are swarm and they can benefit from this too, but we're not really looking to keep up our Ripper swarms, I don't think. Unless Venomthropes do end up getting the Harvester keyword one day like people want, but neither here nor there. I'm talking about this unit because I want to give people that aren't necessarily looking at videos to try to top the next GT, but things that they have from the start of the edition, from older editions, whatever it may be, and kind of want to play a game with their friends and do something different. So, the Venomthropes are the target of today because, well, they have some applications, and I want to go through units that pair well with the Venomthropes. Starting with the Melee Warriors. Why the Melee Warriors? And where will you take all of this? The Melee Warriors are infantry, and they need help surviving. And if you know my feelings on melee warriors, you know where I'm going to put them. Synaptic Nexus. Synaptic Nexus will give your melee warriors what you need to succeed with the Venomthropes, in my opinion. I don't think this is going to be the next Synaptic Nexus list. I highly doubt it, but if it does, that'd be cool. But yeah, Synaptic Nexus and not Vanguard Onslaught. Brief recap for probably most of you, given that I don't think I'm the biggest channel, but I'm sorry this will be a repeat for some people that have, for the lovely individuals that have come around. Uh, Vanguard Onslaught, no survivability. They move 6. Yeah, you can leapfrog with the Tyranid Prime. Eh, but you're not really getting up past where you need to be for safety measures. And Vanguard Onslaught, you're also probably not spending your lone op on a squad of melee warriors if we're being realistic. And the lone op got changed to 18 inches. If we're talking about move 6 models, even with an advance roll of a 6, you have 12 inches total there. You still need another 6 for the charge. So if you were right outside of 18 inches to use the low enough strat. So there's that. Synaptic Nexus, for a turn, since they're synapse, they can have a 5-up invulnerable save, and outside of that turn, you can make them have a 5-up invulnerable save with Imperative Dominance. And then, you also can do the thing that people do to their tiny little uh, Space Marines, Armor of Contempt with Reinforced Hive Note. I've talked at length about why Reinforced Hive Note is probably better served on these versus uh, models that have an invulnerable save already, or the big models that have an invulnerable save already. So, Reinforced Hive Note, -1 to the AP, benefit of cover, stealth, Tyranid Warriors. Bam, there you go. There's your survivability. And then also, I want to highlight a core stratagem. I know, right? We don't usually use those over here in Tyranids because we're used to just not having access to them. Grenades, tank shock. But go to ground. I was a little bit stupefied when I was thinking about how to apply this unit, and I was like, wait, shit, go to ground is just kind of better, but not 70 points. which is yes and no. Go to ground does not give you stealth, so that's one big thing. But for 70 points, if you can go to ground multiple units around you, more or less, without the invulnerable save, I think that's fine, alright? And that's the key. And the other thing about why Venomthropes with the melee warriors in Synaptic Nexus is because you then can, in a way, double reinforced hive node backslash go to ground. We lost that battle tactic double thing with the hive tyrant, but if you take one squad of, let's assume that we're not in the turn with the 5-up invulnerable save, and we're not about to get into melee anytime soon where you're using goaded to slaughter. Uh, that turn that you need to get up there and the advance isn't really helping you, right? You take one unit, give it imperative dominance to give it the 5-up invulnerable save. Also, we're assuming we have just CP to blow for this stupid ass strat, okay? But just stick with me. Um, you have one melee warrior squad with imperative dominance to give them a 5-up invulnerable save, and then when they start getting shot, reinforced hive noting them, while being next to the Venomthropes for stealth and benefit of cover. And then if somebody tries to target another squad of your melee warriors, you go to ground on them, preferably around the Venomthropes as well. That way you get the stealth aspect of that. And now you have two units that people didn't expect to be as hard to get rid of. Did it cost you a lot of investment for CP? Yes, it did. But we're talking about options, not optimal. Okay? So that's just something I think you could do when it comes to bringing the Venomthropes off the shelves. And then I should say this came about thinking about how Vanguard Onslaught lists are spamming Broodlord Genestealers, which is fine, but I did think about how, or if the Wing Hive Tyrant is worth it. This kind of will be a spoiler if I do end up making the video, but I was thinking about how, well, triple kill rig is getting spammed, so that's stacking buffs, and we have seen triple Great Unclean one before for that stacking debuff. Might as well try it with the Wing Hive Tyrant some way. So far, I can't say it's worth trying it, but for the hell of it, I was thinking about, well, if I subtract 3 attack characteristic from models, what what else would make that annoying as hell? And that would be -1 to hit. And admittedly, it came from still thinking about the Brood Lord giving -1 to hit in combat, and then I was like, well, shit, out of combat, I need something, and then Venomthropes, which is why we're making this video today. And after all of that rambling, let's actually talk about the Genestealers and where I would put this combination. Since they already have a 5-up invulnerable save, and their profile is a 5-up save, I don't think you want to do this in Synaptic Nexus the same way you would with the melee warriors. They have 2 wounds each. Is this time to give it to the Vanguard Onslaught? They have an 8-inch move, which is better than the 6 inches. Come on. No, I think you could probably do this in Invasion Fleet, and you can also bring the melee warriors in Invasion Fleet and be a little bit more annoying. Where now you have 10 models, 2 wounds, so that's 20 wounds, and then of course attach the Broodlord, so another 6 wounds, right? That people already kind of underestimate how much it takes to get rid of them. Uh, Sometimes we overestimate their damage output, but people do have to dedicate quite a bit to lift, or I shouldn't say quite a bit, but a decent amount to lift a squad of 10 Genestealers and a Broodlord. Especially when you take them in Invasion Fleet, giving them a 5-up Feel No Pain while next to Venomthrope so they have stealth and the benefit of cover, right? So, assuming, yeah, like there was no AP on it, yeah, that can come in handy for the benefit of cover part, but no matter what, the stealth aspect will come in handy along with a 5-up Feel No Pain. And this is the fun thing about Invasion Fleet that I am still working on making a cohesive video to highlight, but again, spoiler if I make that video too. You then also have access to these 2 stratagems because it is a fight phase detachment. And with this being a fight phase detachment, your melee units just get to do a little bit of shenanigans. So you have Genestealers that are probably doing sustained, or hell, if they are doing lethal, critting on fives. Are you spending 2 CP for it? Probably not, if we're being honest. But this would be a nice little Hive Tyrant situation where it takes it down to 1 CP. And then you also have Death Frenching, where you have now people that tried to lift all those models off that have a 5 up feel no pain, also fighting on death. You have the option for it, but that's just if you go the route of including Genestealers while you are talking about, hey, I want to bring my Venomthropes out to play. So that's how that goes when we're looking at the aspect of Invasion Fleet. Now, should talk about Vanguard Onslaught and the benefit that you can kind of get by just throwing this in your Vanguard Onslaught list that you already have. You do now have access to uppy downying your Venomthropes because they're infantry and Vanguard Onslaught if you are worried about them trying to keep up with your advanced and charging Vanguard Onslaught units. I really don't recommend that you spend a CP to make your one Tyranid infantry Venomthrope unit go up in the sky, but that's a possibility. That does happen. And Chameleonic also pretty much calls one Vanguard Invader model. I said, keep in mind it's the model, so the bearer has stuff and the rest of the unit gets the benefit of cover. So if you want to just be funny and double down that way and be like, ha, one of my wing Tyranid primes is the stealth, and the warriors have the benefit of cover, and then my Bruglord Genestealers are next to my Venomthropes. Like, hey, I'm just here to provide you with the funny things you could do. Let's also talk about other infantry that this could go on and why you might do it. I've made a video about the flaming bar bomb. More or less. They don't necessarily have to go together, but that's what I called it. No, I called it like flaming barrage or something in my file notes or whatever. But barb gaunts, we have seen people talk about bringing a shitload of barb gaunts and putting them next to a hive tyrant now that they have lethals. Uh, and if you do this next to Venomthropes, now your barb gaunts have stealth and the benefit of cover. So that's a cheaper package to keep your barb gaunts alive. But you know, barb gaunts are here for a good time, not a long time. So hey, if you have a bunch of those lying around, I'm just here to tell you how to take things out to be played for a while or for a bit. And then Pyrophores, they are also infantry, and it is kind of really funny that maybe if you go with the assimilation swarm aspect of things, where you spam a shit ton of Pyrophores, if you go with making it a like an infantry regen situation, you can make it so that you are removing cover from your opponent while giving cover to yourself and regenning infantry. Again, I don't think that's the way that this detachment will develop, but it's an option, and maybe it's an option that needs to be explored a little bit more. But I've already made a video about Pyrophore love, so didn't really want to spend too much of this video talking about it. It was more so because I was thinking about how to make these more survivable. If I had to rank them in the options, I think I like the Warriors and Synaptic Nexus next to Venomthropes idea more, and then put Genestealers in Invasion Fleet. And then we're talking Pyrophores, Assimilation Swarm, and then maybe the other ones in Vanguard Onslaught. But hey, I didn't think anybody's bringing Venomthropes anyway, so that's what this video has been. Let me know if you actually love Venomthropes. That's one thing that I like hearing about the videos. It's really funny when I do these types and somebody's just like, I don't know about you, but I have been keeping my Ripper Swarms in every list. They are clutch, okay? I tell you what, you ain't never seen these Hive Guard do work like mine have. So if you've been just championing Venomthropes this entire time, I'd love to hear it. And beyond that, yeah. If you like the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.